you, Dr. Casper. Good morning, everyone. Let's just start with. It's a pretty cold weather outside, isn't it? So this morning was comparatively better, but then again, it's cold. Does anyone know what's the temperature outside? Let me just take out my phone and check.
Below for, yeah.
Hey Google, what's the temperature outside? Google, what's the temperature outside?
In Horton, it's currently -7.
It's -7 in centigrade. So it's pretty cold. And if we look like, so what did I do right now? I just took out my phone, I asked Google, and it was there. So these days we have Alexa, we have Google Talk, we have Cortana, Siri, we have different assistants that guide us, help us to go out and ask a question and it will answer. It can do some of our tasks as well, but think about regular tasks. Like if I want to switch on a light or maybe turn on that television, I need to ask Dr. Casper or maybe Josh to go and do it for me, or maybe I should go and switch it on. What if I could take out my phone and ask like Google, just turn on the television, change the channel? Or maybe I'm just somewhere out and maybe there's an accident at my home. So how will I be able to know? Maybe from my neighbors? But sometimes it may happen as well when we are roaming outside, or maybe we are inside the house and there is an accident. We don't even know before the time. So keeping these things in mind, we came out with a solution which is called AutoHome. Me along with a friend of mine, this is what it does. We have a video for this, so that would explain everything properly. So I'll request Dr. Casper to play it.
Okay. Is that it? Or
No, it's still there.
No.
Ah, there it goes. No.
Oh, could you please play that again? Okay, I'll explain. So, so basically, that was the part of the problem, and now what are the solutions? So AutoHome is a device. What you have is one small black box and an application on your mobile phone. So once you have that in your home, what all the appliances that you have, you can connect that to AutoHome device, and from your mobile phone you can control them, you can monitor them. You can, if you say you have a security camera at your home or maybe at your door, if someone is knocking, you can check who is there, you can open your door, you can do these kind of stuff. If there is a fire alarm at your home, if there is an accident, you'll directly get notified. Even you can set local contact numbers, and those numbers will get connected. And that is why, so generally response time for human, that's longer than any technology. So if you have those systems at your home, once there is an alarm, it will directly get notified to you, and as well as the local police and others. So that was the main concept. So what are the other features it has? It has Wi-Fi connectivity. It is web controlled, so it's not just your phone as it showed. The screen is sometimes small. You can directly log into your website. You can go there and you can check what's going on, what are the things turned on, turned off, any cameras that you want to monitor. If any device is not working properly, you can get alarm for that as well. Emergency alerts you can get news to the concerned authority that I mentioned already. You can schedule facilities like when your heater should get turned on. Maybe when the temperature falls under this temperature, then the heater should turn on. These kind of things you can set. You can control any device. So here is a catch with this. The main problem, these kind of systems already exist in the market, but problem with them is they only work with your smart devices. If your TV is smart, it can control that. But if your devices are not smart enough, in that case you cannot connect them. Your old devices, your fridge, which is not smart, in that case you can't control and connect. That is the main problem we are working on right now. We are trying to come up with solutions so that you don't need to buy a new fridge, a new television, or maybe lamps to get connected with these kind of smart devices. It's intelligent control, remote monitoring you can do. You can check your cameras, your security sensors, everything from your mobile phone. You'll get communicated through SMSs. And one more thing here, say you don't use a smartphone, or maybe some elder people at your family who doesn't know how to use a smartphone. In that case, you can control that via a featured phone as well. So that is one thing we added to it. It's a smart control. It's a cost for money. We are not yet set how much it would cost, but we calculated how much production cost it may cost us, and it looks relatively cheaper. Like the whole device could cost around $50 to $75. So we are expecting something around that, and it's a voice operator as well. Like we ask Google Assistant, we can ask directly. You can go to our app and say, and it will help. So this is pretty much it. And any questions?
So you're focused on making the not smart appliances smart, right? So that's kind of where you're fitting in, and then interface with this larger holistic house.
So currently what we're working on is we already have a device, a prototype ready, which can communicate with your smart devices. But if you don't have a smart device, then what you should do. So we are currently developing small devices that probably a very micro device that we can add to your non-smart devices, and it could get connected. So
No, that's good.
Have you an idea about your market?
Yes, market. What we believe is any household would love to have something like this, and we have checked that last few years the smart devices are coming into market. The companies like Google, Amazon, they are working on these kind of devices. So we pretty much believe if we can keep a good competitive rate and we can provide some good features, we can probably have a that.
So you're saying the other companies are also finding a way to make the appliances that aren't smart just smart?
No.
So
What they are doing is, that is our main value proposition, because the companies like what they are doing is with Google Home or Apple Home, what they're doing is, if you have a device that is connected through Wi-Fi, means which is smart device, in that case you can bring maybe Google Home or Alexa, and it would communicate with that device. But if your device is not smart enough, in that case you can't. So making the non-smart device smart, that is the main value question here.
Have you considered focusing your research on that component, making your non-smart device smart, and let Google and Apple and Amazon run the software? Like, let them do all the app stuff. You just are a plug-in basically to their systems.
So we could do that, but the devices that Amazon or Google, these kind of companies, they're offering, we already have similar system. We are using these as an add-on. So that is why it's not just a software, it's a hardware as well. You need one device that could communicate with all the devices, one master device we call it. So that thing is already there. We are planning to build some small add-ons, because you don't want to spend $100 of dollars just to change one device smart, because you can buy one. So we are just working on those devices right now, trying to keep that cross flow.
Now, I almost see this as something where you could potentially sell it as like a router replacement. So you replace the router in the home, and then it's a smart home router that would then have all this additional functionality. Because if you're talking about interfacing with it like Nest and with with all these smart speakers and things like that, I understand what you're saying, but I look at adding another piece of hardware is if it has enough value, that's great. But if you could add the functionality of just replacing the home router in the house, now it's not only just replacing the router, or it's a router anyways, but it has all this additional functionality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because then that's it's not adding, but it's replacing an existing piece of hardware that gives you all this added functionality. That'd be another approach just to think about.
No, this is a good idea that we can probably change.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the other idea of having remote access, because right now if you have Amazon and Apple and whatever, those are available only when you're on your network at home, right? So having the idea of being able to have remote access really opens that up.
And being agnostic, it works with anything. I've got a good friend who's got 2 boys, and they have Apple products and they've got Google products, or Android, and she's frustrated at no end because all the solutions are just specific to whether or not you have Apple or Android. And so having something that stands over the top of that and can handle both to a point is that's an advantage.
So for our device, what we're doing is it's just the hardware that we can probably replace with the router, and then you have an application. So that application that can run on iOS, that can run on Android, that can, even if Windows again come back, that can run on Windows as well. So that's pretty much it. We expect this to be platform independent.
And one of the things that I talk about a lot in class is about the security of the information and the flow. How are you addressing that concern?
So the security comes with when it is web controlled, when it is application controlled, obviously security is a big concern. Now again, like it would be password protected, and anyone cannot have access directly if that person does not know the password, or really hack into the system by breaking the password. So that is the point we are currently at, just a secure password for your web login, for your app login as well. And maybe we can introduce biometrics like fingerprints, retina scan, and could be done with your mobile phone directly as well. So that could increase the security. But basically, we are working with the password itself, nothing apart from that. And we are not storing any data on the website. It's directly on your phone and on your website, and your mobile phone and website is accessing that device at your home, the router sort of thing, so all the data that is saved, it's there. So if someone is only logged into that device, that person has the access. We are not having the access, even the users directly does not have the access. So that is not even a concern, I believe that.
I think that would be important to put in your marketing materials, because people will have that concern, so that's really good, good response.
And the only other thing I would say is continue to talk to your customers, you know, because they're the ones who are ultimately going to buy your product. So finding out, how strong of a concern is security to them. How strong of a concern is it to work with different devices, and how many, what is the prevalence of smart versus not so smart dumb appliances in the household are there, So look at that traction, because this is a unique time, I would say, for a product like this, because as more appliances come out, the chances of them being smart appliances are just that much greater, to the point where I would expect 10 years from now, probably the majority of them will have some sort of smart interface of some sort. So the timing is now for something like this, I would say. So, yeah. Good. All right.
What, as a community, can we do to help you?
So first thing is feedback. The feedback we already got, like we can replace it with the router or maybe something sort of that. The problem with Google and Amazon devices, the Apple devices, the security, these kind of feedback we are looking at right now, because we are still at the developing stage, and right now that is the main thing we are looking from the community. We are talking to more people. We're trying to get this in front of people so that they know. And one more thing, the feedback matters the most here, because some these kind of devices are already there. People are using it, and they are facing some problems. What are those? How can we solve that? So those things come into picture. That's why from the community, that is the most important thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great.